Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Twitch, and we are back with another edition of Lab Rats Culture. And I am so honored and so humbled for our next guest because I've been watching this guy for a while, guys. I have watched this guy dance for Justin Timberlake. I've seen him dance with Christina Aguilera. I've seen him pop up for little surprise appearances in Britney Spears performances that from what I understood he wasn't even in. They were just the choreographer saw him and was like, "Hey, come on over here and do this." He's been in movies. He's done commercials. He has battled all over the world in various crews.
Yes, sir.
He is an expert in martial arts. He also teaches martial arts and fitness classes. I'm talking about the one, the only, Flowmaster. B Boy Flo Master, what's happening? Welcome
What's
to the
up, baby
lab,
boy?
brother.
What's
Thank
up?
you very much.
Man, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. There's
Yes, sir.
there's so many things that we are going to get into that I didn't really tap into that intro, but it's but we're going to get. This guy has been in the game for a minute. He has a lot of knowledge, he has a lot of expertise, and we're about to get into that. Flo, can you take us back to the beginning and kind of paint childhood for us, okay? And the reason I ask is we're gonna slowly get into how you got involved in the arts and,
Okay.
and dancing and stuff like. So what was Little Flo like?
Little Flo was bad as hell. People didn't want me at their house.
Oh no!
Like, don't bring that little badass boy to this house. But no, coming up was kind of rough.
So then, how did you get introduced into the arts, whether it be music or dance or
Well, I got introduced into the martial arts because I wanted to learn how to fight because I
got
was
it.
tired of getting beat up.
Okay,
So I was watching all the Bruce Lee movies,
Got
all
it.
the Jackie Chan, and thought I was Bruce Lee. And I watched a Bruce Lee movie, and then when it was over, I went out and tried to fight and get
Right,
beat up,
right.
and really realized that the movies don't teach you how to fight.
right.
And my mom, we didn't really have that much money to really be put into martial arts.
Got
So
it.
I didn't really get put into martial arts till I got into a teenage years, until I started getting into high school.
Got it.
And it was a guy named Hoon
Mhm.
was the guy that was like the taekwondo guy of
Right.
Gaithersburg High School.
Okay.
And he just took me underneath his wing, and he just started teaching me taekwondo.
So would you say that the first love was martial arts then? It was just
The
even,
first,
it was even
the first
before
love
dance?
before dancing even came involved, martial arts was my first love
Really?
by far. And I'm glad that I did martial arts before dance,
Why are you glad?
because martial art teaches you discipline. It
Okay.
teaches you how to stay humble, and it teaches you how to get out of your comfort zone.
Okay. Really?
And that's what makes a good dancer, is to stay humble, to get out of your comfort zone, and
Mhm.
stay a student. Martial art is all about respect. You bow, you pay homage to the people that's up
Mhm.
above you, and you stay learning.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I see.
A lot of dancers don't have that.
Right.
They get a name, and they think they God gift to the world, and they wearing all these jewelry, and they walk by you when they used to say hi to you. Now they got a name, and now when you say hi, and they go, and they keep moving, like, wait a minute,
Right.
man, what the
Right.
hell just
Right.
happened?
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? And, like,
Absolutely.
I don't want to ever be that asshole.
Very much. I see. I see. And what's
I don't wanna be
great
that
about
person.
that is that that's just that really has just carried on throughout life for you. I think, especially with everything that you have taken on, whether it be battles, whether it be training superstars like Usher into, just the most exquisite form, right? From even choreographing to Usher.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those things that you learn from martial arts really helped carry you through and also provided longevity for you too, because Flo, you've been in the game for a minute. You've been in the game for a while, and you just continue to get better. It's so crazy. I remember the first time that I met you, it was when I was doing a show called The Wade Robson Project. Do you remember this?
Of
Okay.
course.
Flo was dancing with JC Chasse. And if you can't be in a room and have Flo on the stage performing and not only watch Flo. You know what I mean? Like there's so much energy, so much passion and joy in what he does. So Flo, you've taken martial arts as a child. When did you find the joy of dancing? Because I know that you say that martial arts is your first love,
Yeah.
but there is no doubt that you have love when you dance. Like it seeps from you. You can see it, you can feel it.
Right.
You know? So when did dance get introduced into your life?
When the women got introduced in my
Hey.
life. I started dancing because martial arts, to me, when you're in high school, everybody wants the women.
Right.
Martial arts don't get you women.
Right.
Dancing gets you women.
Con- Contrary to the movies, right? Martial arts does not get to women. Yeah.
But the martial arts
Yeah, it
can
does not
protect
impress me
women,
that you
but it
can.
doesn't get the women attention.
Yeah.
So all the popular guys that was in high school that was popular
Mhm.
was dancers.
Oh,
And
okay.
I wanted to be popular. Everybody in high school wanted to be popular.
Right.
So you do the thing that you do to get popular. You
Mhm.
want to play football. The popular
Of
guys will play
course.
football.
Of course.
So I wasn't gonna play no damn
No.
football. You're not gonna hurt this body. So I was like, the next best thing was dancing.
Mhm.
So I said, maybe if I start dancing, I can get the women. And I just started just practicing dancing. They used to make fun of me. They used to clown me. Like I used to have one step, and I used to do this all the time.
Right.
And I used to go to the school dances just doing this one step.
Right.
And
Right.
people used to say, "Go ask Flo to dance and watch him do that one step."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that one step came into doing the step like this, and hey, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden it's
yeah.
like, "Ask Flo, can he teach us how to do that step?"
Right. Right.
They
Right.
used to,
Right.
they used to make fun, and then they want me to start teaching
Of
them.
course.
And then I just started getting the women. I'm married now, but I just started getting the women, and for some reason, dancing did something to me that martial arts couldn't do, and it just made me feel alive. It just made me like if I was hurting or if I was sad,
Mhm.
dancing made me forget about all that.
Mhm. Do you remember the first time? Do you remember the first time that you actually got a positive response from the dance that you were doing? So do you remember the moment that it went from making fun of Flo because he's doing this move
Mhm.
to yo, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Was it did you unleash it at a school dance? Was it a pep rally where y'all just out kicking it one time and they were like, yo, Flo, do that thing.
I think I think I can't remember when it was, but I just remember it was a guy named Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Corey was the best dancer in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and
Okay.
he followed the soul.
Mm-hmm.
The Soul Brothers,
Right.
and his style was the Soul Brothers, and
Uh-huh.
he was the best. And when he saw me dance, and everybody praised this guy, when he asked me, "Can you dance with me? Can we
Mm-hmm.
do something together?"
Mm-hmm.
I knew right then and there, I knew how to dance. I
Right.
knew that I have came from the bottom and I raised to the top. When you got the guy who people praise,
Right.
that look
Right.
up to, coming to me
Right.
and saying, "Can you dance?"
Right. Right.
I was like, that was the biggest joy because he was my hero back then. Like
Wow.
I tried to watch him. He was the guy that I battled all the time because I wanted to be to his level.
Got
So
it.
to me, for me to be to his level, I had to battle him. I had to come to him to see if I could make up enough move to battle him.
Right. Now, during this time, just to backtrack a little bit and paint a little bit more of a picture of the time period that we're talking about. When you said that he followed the Soul Brothers style, like
Mhm.
what can you explain what that means, and also what dances you were doing at this time? Meaning when you battled Corey,
Mhm.
what did that look like?
That looked well. The soul brother style is like. How can I explain it? It's more that I got to show you. But soul brother style, they do a lot of stuff and they roll their
Uh
head and
huh.
their body rolls and
Uh huh.
all that stuff and dancing on one foot and
Uh huh.
swinging and doing stuff like this.
Uh
And
huh.
nobody else had a style like Corey.
Mhm.
No
Mhm.
one had a style like I didn't know who the Soul Brothers was
Right.
until Corey introduced me to who was the Soul Brothers was, and that was
Right.
Craigie. Craigie was his favorite Soul Brother, and when I
Right.
saw him, I was blown away. I was like,
Right.
these are the guys that I want to learn from. But if it wasn't for Corey, I wouldn't have known who the Soul Brothers was.
I see.
Does it?
I see. Yeah, no,
Does that
that
make sense?
that makes perfect sense.
And
Absolutely.
he just opened my eyes to a dance that I would have never known if I didn't
Hmm.
start, if he never came to me to say, yo, can we start dancing together or start battling and start doing stuff together?
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
So then after this point, so now you've kind of equipped yourself with moves
Mm-hmm.
and you're ready and you're feeling comfortable as a dancer, right? And you also have the discipline and the know-how to continue to practice from your
Yes.
martial arts, right? So what was the next tier after Corey? Was it what and was that when you decided I'm gonna embark on this professionally, or were you still just kind of in the street scene?
I was still in the street scene. I never thought that I was going to be a professional dancer. I never,
Really?
barked on it. No, I never even thought that I was going to be a professional dancer. I didn't know you can make money for being a professional dancer. Like I saw Fendi and Heavy D's dancers and
Right,
stuff
right.
like I always admired them. You know, I
Mhm.
was like, man, one day I want to be on stage doing what they doing. But I never thought that it was going to be possible. I never thought
Right,
by me starting to dance because of the women and battling Corey and
right,
learning from Corey that
right.
I would be a professional dancer. What changed my way is when I met Rocksteady Crew, Crazy Legs, Pee Wee Dance, and Mr.
Hey,
Wiggles.
shout out Rocksteady.
Yes, when they came, I heard they was coming to Washington D.C. and I thought they was coming to battle, and
Right.
I was like, Rocksteady, I'm ready to battle them.
Right.
But I found out that they was going to be judging, not battling.
Uh,
Thank God they didn't battle, because I
right.
would have got destroyed.
Right, right, right.
But I was still in my mind, I was a battle cat. I was like, even though they're not battling, I'm gonna let them know
Right.
that Jerry Randolph, because I wasn't named Flowmaster. I was
Okay.
named Jerry Randolph.
Okay.
Jerry Randolph was coming.
Jerry Randolph.
Jerry Randolph was coming. So after I did my thing, they did a judge demo.
Mhm.
When I saw Crazy Legs and Mr. Wiggles and Pee Wee Dance get down, I looked up to God and said, I thank God they wasn't in this battle. Lord have mercy. I would have got slayed. And I remember me being so humbled. I went up to them. I said, listen, what do I have to do to
Mhm.
learn this dance style?
Mhm.
They said, you got to come to New York City. You got to be around it. You have to be where it is. Because Washington, D.C., they wasn't breaking. They
Right.
wasn't popping, and they wasn't locking.
Right.
That was done. They was only doing it. It was coming back in New York City. So what did I do? Every other week, I was just saving up money just to go take a bus to go to New York City.
Really? So then what so you're up in New and were you actually training with legs, wiggles?
I was training with legs to get into Rocksteady. So I had to battle to get in Rocksteady. You have to battle somebody.
Mhm.
So Crazy Legs is the one I had to battle. So I go up to New York City, get destroyed, come back home, try to think about what I got destroyed on, go back, then Legs destroy me again.
Right.
Kept going back. So the thing is they didn't care of how good I was. They was seeing was I really down for the crew.
Right.
Was I was gonna be what is it called, a
One
one
hit
trick pony,
one trick pony,
or
yeah,
a
or
one
one
trick
hit
pony,
wonder,
yeah,
yeah,
a
yeah.
one hit wonder that I'm just gonna do and get in the crew and not disappear.
Right.
But I proved that I wasn't, that I was here to stay.
Mm.
And after I think the seventh or eighth time me going to New York City, it was like, you ready?
Wow. So then is that when you get the name Flowmaster?
No. I got my name Legs Almighty at first because I had big huge legs from doing martial arts.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time, please.
Legs Almighty is what they called me because I had big legs. Y'all can go to hell. Y'all can go to hell twice.
Welcome B Boy Legs Almighty.
Everybody laughing. They called me Legs Almighty. But the funny thing is, I didn't like that name.
You
But
didn't like
hell no, I ain't like that name. Legs Almighty, I ain't like that name. But I just wanted a name that I just didn't want to be called Jerry Randolph.
Right, okay.
Like, come on, coming to the stage, Jerry Randolph. That, boo. So I was like, Legs Almighty. Okay, cool. You call me the Legs Almighty. And I didn't like it. So Quick Step.
Mm.
I remember in Jersey, me and Quick Step was in his kitchen eating a bowl of cereal. He said, they need to change your name to Flowmaster. When he said Flowmaster, I was like,
That's it.
that's it. I said, is it too late to change my name? I know people know me as Legs Almighty, but is it too late to change my name now? And he looked at me, he said, if you're going to change it, you better change it right now, because if you get too big, you're stuck with it. I was like, for then on, by being in Jersey, eating a bowl of Fruit Loops, my name was Flowmaster. I changed it from right there. Because he liked the way that I got in a circle, and I don't think. I just flow with whatever goes.
Right.
And that's how martial art teaches you. Is
Mhm.
just to be ready to flow with whatever comes your way and just roll with it.
I see.
And that's what I do when I get on the dance floor. And that's why he said, that's why we should call you Flowmaster.
Now, if you don't mind, could you just kind of continue to expand on that on that mental conditioning of going after something that you would really like. Like, you know, you're going back and forth to New York, battling to get in one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary crew ever. And then after a while, I mean, really kind of getting your ass handed to you a couple times. But then what is that mental process on the ride back from New York home, knowing that you just got destroyed, but you got a little tidbit of information that could help you when you go back. What is that conversion process like?
That's why I said I'm glad I did martial arts first,
Okay.
because it built me. People don't understand martial art is just not about fighting. Martial art is the mind. You got to get your mind ready for whatever you do, fighting, dancing, whatever. You got to be willing to get defeated.
Mm.
You got to be willing to have somebody say no.
Mm.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you're going to get better, because that keeps that hunger.
Mm-hmm.
If you have everybody keep saying you're incredible, or you keep beating everybody, how do you get better?
Right.
How do you get that eye of the tiger?
Absolutely.
How do you keep that fire going inside you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what martial arts did. I got my butt handed, and the teacher always tells us you got to be the nail before you become the hammer. You
Okay.
always got to be the nail before you become the hammer. You have to. You got to know how to lose before you can know how to win.
Love it.
You can't win and then lose, because people who wins and then they lose, then they want to fight everybody.
Right.
They
Right.
break stuff up and break out winners and kill themselves. I'm
Right.
gonna die.
Right.
I
Right.
lost. Like
Right.
what?
Right. I see. I see. So it's
This
part.
brings you to another chapter. It's part of the game. It's part of life. It's not just
Absolutely.
dancing. It's just a part of life.
100%.
And that's what martial art taught me.
I see. I see.
So I was already trained for this. I was already, my mind was already strong for this.
Love it. So then you're there, and you now have your official name, official. Okay.
Flowmaster, yes.
And now, how does the journey change for you then? Because to me, listening to that, it seems like a standout moment, and
Mhm.
it seems like a moment that after you get the name that makes the most sense for you,
Mhm.
like there's something that changes, and then things tend to take off.
Mhm.
Is that true? And if it is, what were those things that happened to take off where you're like, whoa, I never thought my life would be going this way, but here we go.
Well, just like you said earlier, I didn't plan on being a professional dancer.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to dance for a living. I just like battling. I was a
Right.
battle cat. I didn't care about you give me money. I just want to battle you.
Right.
So when I got into Rocksteady and I was staying with Legs a lot,
Mm-hmm.
they had a crew that they used to travel with called Jam on the Groove,
Mm.
called Get Original, where
Okay.
they will travel all around the world expressing hip hop, what hip hop culture is to show
Right.
people, but they showed it through dance.
Right.
So a couple of people couldn't make it. So Mr. Wiggles asked me what I want to be in a number that they're going to perform.
Right.
I was like, well, I don't really do choreography.
Right.
I like the battle, but why not?
Right.
So they put me in one number. I did it. Cool. Then the next time, put me in two numbers and did it. And
Mm-hmm.
cool. And for some reason, I just started liking performing.
Right.
It was just something about battling was cool, but performing in front of a lot of people and having them cheering and making
Mm-hmm.
them laugh, because I like to make people feel good.
Yes.
I was, to me, I think I was put on this earth. I think everybody's put on the earth to better yourself and better others.
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling of making people happy did something to me, and that started switching that whole balance mentality to I want to start uplifting people now.
Wow.
You
Okay.
see what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
do. I do.
So that start shifting my way of thinking.
Which makes so much sense now, because just like I said at the beginning, I mean, you can't you. There's not a time where I don't think anybody has watched you dance and not smiled. You know what I mean? It's so contagious and so in your DNA that every movement you make. I mean, I've watched countless battle clips, and even in battles, Flo. That's the crazy thing, is even in battles, you still somehow. You make the crowd laugh, and even though you might be roasting somebody, the worst part about it is everybody around the circle is smiling while you're getting roasted. They're watching this cat have a great time roasting you. You know.
But let me tell you where that come about though. When I met Ken Swift, okay, when
Mm.
I got into Rocksteady, I like Legs, but they was always saying how incredible this guy Ken Swift is. I didn't know who Ken Swift was.
Yo, shout out Ken Swift.
Man, when I saw Ken Swift hit the circle, I was like, I want to be like that guy.
Yo, that footwork though.
Man, just his whole style and his no one had a style and
Mhm.
dress the way Ken Swift
Mm-hmm.
dress and dance.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to be him, to the point where I tried to be him 100%. The
Right.
dress, the walk, the way he eats, the way he holds his bottle. Like I try to be Ken Swift,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't getting the love that I wanted when I was getting in the circle, because I was looking like Ken Swift.
Right. No.
People's not gonna give you love for looking like somebody else.
which is a huge thing to say right now.
Well,
I mean,
and
that's a
that's what I'm gonna talk
huge thing.
about the dancing today.
Right.
The reason why a lot of people are not getting the props that they want because they look like everybody else.
Mm.
And I was looking like Ken Swift. I didn't. Flowmaster did not get that praise, and people didn't understand who I was until I started making my own self up.
Got it.
So I was like, what can I do different to look like Ken Swift? Because Ken Swift came to me and said, dude, you got to stop doing my moves. You got to stop looking like
He
me.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay.
kept saying the same thing. Stop looking like Ken Swift. Where is Flo? And that's where the character and the funniness and making
Yeah.
people laugh came about. And that's when I started watching a lot of Jackie Chan movies. Because Jackie Chan is a clown. Bruce Lee is serious. Jackie Chan is a clown. So I was like, let me get that Jackie Chan feel and bring it into breaking.
Got
And
it.
that's when I started making my name.
I see. I see. Now, who were some of the other b-boys that you looked up to? Maybe not idolized as much as you did Ken Swift, but who were some of the other b-boys that you know when you found that you were on the scene were like, yo, that guy's the truth. Like I'll still get at you, but
Yeah.
that guy's the truth.
Storm from Germany.
Hey, shout out to
Storm,
him.
man.
Yeah.
Listen, when I first came to, well, not the first time, but when the Zulu Nation, my first Zulu Nation, Storm, Maurizio, Emilio, and his wife, they was all coming. And you know, Storm is the biggest. And Wiggles was like, Storm is here. I was like, where? I'm serving. Where? Where is he at? I'm getting him.
Right.
Man, I got my ass destroyed, but I didn't give a damn
Right,
because I was
absolutely.
battling the
Yes.
best.
Yes.
And it made me it kept the hunger. Every time I got beat, it lit a fire in me that made me want to become better and better. I never got mad. I never wanted to fight him. I never downed him. I sat there and said, Wiggles, he destroyed me, but I'm gonna get him next time.
Absolutely.
And then me and Storm became friends, and then we started going around New York City, battling everybody, house dancers. That's how we met. Ejo, Link,
Buddha Stretch.
Buddha Stretch,
Yeah. Shout out Elite Force Crew.
Brian Footwear Green. We battled them for 4 hours, just me and Storm battling Brian Footwear Green and Shannon. We was just going at them.
Wow.
They was coming at us. They was doing house. We was breaking house breaking. We was just going at it.
Well, see, that's also the beautiful thing too, is that even with all that back and forth, I think that people forget that it's also a conversation that's being had, right? It's
Totally.
and that which is a huge part of the culture, especially when it comes to that. It's a conversation, whether the conversation be from DJ to MC to crowd, you know, b-boy to b-boy, like, or dancer to dancer, whatever. It's there's part of this like unspoken back and forth that we had, and I think a lot of times people get caught up because they get in the mindset of like, nope, I can't be out here losing. I can't lose. Like, I look too fresh right now, and my name is such and such. Like,
I got my
can't be
girl
out
here with me.
Man,
I
what
can
you
have my
saying?
girl think I'm
Absolutely.
losing.
Exactly. But that's not how the culture was pushed along
At all.
at all. So now, so you're in the thick of it right now. You're in the thick. And what I want to know too, Flo, is when did you become involved in the industry? How far how far away are we from music videos and you know live performances? How far away are we from that? Are we a couple of years? Are you starting to entertain that? Has anybody hit you up about that yet?
Well, just like I said, once I got into Get Original, they put me in 1 and 2 numbers. Then pretty soon I was in the whole thing.
Right.
Mainly the whole thing. Me and Wiggles was mainly in the whole number because the character, and for some reason I didn't know that I had it, that I just knew how to perform.
Right.
Because when I was little, Michael Jackson was my hero.
Mm.
And he started me wanting to dance, but then when Michael went out, I stopped dancing because Michael was all I wanted to do.
Right.
But I mimic and watch how he entertained the crowd, not just doing his moves, just the way he looks,
right,
and just make everybody just sit there and feel his motion that he has. And I took that on, and that always stuck with me. So that's why they start putting me in different numbers. So when Jam the Groove was done, I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more.
Really?
I wasn't happy. I'm like, it's done. I got a taste of dancing in front of people, so I want to keep going.
Right.
So when I came to L.A., because L.A. was the place that I saw that I liked the most, I said, this is where I want to live.
Right.
So when I end up moving here, Will Smith was having an audition for Team, and was having the audition. I was like, well, listen, I already know how to pick up some mates. Let me go audition. I got that. Started dancing for Will start dancing with Will Smith. Then after Will Smith came, Britney Spears started. I got good with Wade Robinson.
Right.
Then he started putting me stuff with Britney Spears
Right.
and
Right.
started doing little stuff. And then just all of a sudden it just kept piling on, and people just started calling me. But when I got with Usher, that's what really set it everything
Really.
off. And
Now, can you talk? Can you just talk about that for a second? I know you were about to expand it, but how? When was the first time Usher saw you
okay,
dance, and what was that? Because listen, I remember Flow Usher. I remember the My Way VHS tape tour, and Flo was the only dancer that had a solo in it, and one of the most entertaining solos you've ever seen ended with the backflip trick. Amazing. Amazing. And and something like that can only be pulled off by someone who feels completely comfortable captivating a crowd of thousands and thousands and thousands. So please, could you just kind of expand on the first time that a superstar like Usher saw you dance and was like, I got to have that guy with me all the time?
well, the funny thing is he didn't really see me dance. That's the problem. He saw Ariston dance because when I left Jam on the Groove, I went to Vegas to do
Okay.
Manhattan. Wiggles did another
Okay.
show,
Okay.
so he saw Ariston. He wanted to Remind. He said that's the guy that I want
Okay.
to teach me how to break because Usher wanted to learn how to break for my way and all that.
Right, right,
So when they came back, Wiggles said he's going to L.A. to because Usher's having an audition for My Way.
right,
I said, well, shoot, can I come? He
right.
said, okay, cool, because he wanted Ariston to come to battle with her because the way they did the auditions, they had people split up to battle one another because My Way was like a battle.
Right.
So I said, Wiggles, can I come? He's like, cool. So when we got there, they split Wiggles up and Remind and put him on the same team,
Mm-hmm.
and then they put me on another team, and then they
Mm-hmm.
had us battle. But everybody kept going after Ariston and Remind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait a minute, we got 10 people on one side, 10 people on the other side. Why y'all going at Ariston and
Right.
them? I said,
Right.
they're my family. So I said, bunk this. I left my side and went on their side and started battling my side. Then we started battling everybody.
Right.
So Usher looked at me, was like, that's the dude I want. I don't know who he is, but that's the dude I want. And then I just started training Usher. Like he flew me down to Atlanta. I started teaching him, getting him ready for My Way.
Mm-hmm.
And when he couldn't learn it, so he had me do the double. And
Right.
after that, I had to go get surgery because I tore my meniscus. So I'm sitting there doing
Wow.
My Way, dancing on a tore meniscus. My knee kept locking up on the
Uh-huh.
thing, and I had to do windmills for him.
So that was you in the My Way video that does the flip out onto the floor and does
No,
the,
that was Usher did the flip, but I did the
but you did the
continuous back.
windmill. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I did that.
Got it.
Because we just didn't have enough time for him to learn it,
I see. Okay.
and then plus I had a tore meniscus, so I had to go do surgery 2 days after that. Yep, I had to go get surgery.
Now, was that your
That was my first
your
surgery.
first knee injury?
Yep, my first
Wow.
and first surgery. I thought my career was over because I never had that happen before.
Right.
I seen it happen, but I never
And
had
also
happen.
in that time, listen, I've had knee injuries too, and before that first injury, you're pretty much Superman, right?
Yeah,
Like you,
yeah,
you
you
know, you're
throwing your body
impenetrable.
everywhere.
You can,
Yeah.
you can take anything. You're invincible, right? But that first one, I mean, it could be devastating. It can be devastating, not just physically, but also mentally. So, I mean, look at the stakes here. You're on a superstar's music video, one of his best music videos
My Way.
to date, if not the best. I mean, personally, and you tear your meniscus. Where's your mind at when this happens?
Just gonna get it fixed and heal back and be ready to go again.
So there wasn't yeah. So there wasn't a time you didn't. Did you think that your career was over, or did you?
I thought it was over, but until I started educating myself about learning that it's not.
Okay.
It's more of your ACL is the one but I didn't know too much about
Right.
the ACL. I just
Right.
know because I was just dealing with my problem.
Right. Got
And
it.
I bounced
You
right
bounced
back.
right back. Really.
I bounced right back.
So, do you care to just kind of expand on like the healing process? Because I think this part of the conversation could be very, very important, not only to myself but just to everybody else listening. That where is your mental space while recovering from an injury? And I'm talking about from the moment it happens
Hmm.
to surgery, then the couple of weeks you have down before surgery, before you even start physical therapy. what is Flo thinking? Are you, are you mentally training? Are you staying on yourself to be positive? Were there days where you were like, yo, I have no idea what I'm about to do and I feel miserable?
Well, I know that I was still out there dancing. It's dumb. Dumb the most. I'm telling you, if anybody has surgery, you tear your meniscus or anything, set your ass down. Set your ass down. Don't do what I did, please.
All right.
I think that's what kept me from going crazy because I was still dancing. I was still finding ways to do stuff. When I would go to the show where I tore my meniscus
Mm-hmm.
in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
I would do stuff like I would be out in the audience and I would scream something when it gets um
Get quiet.
quiet, and
Yeah.
then everybody would start laughing. It's like,
Yeah.
where the hell that come from?
All
Like,
right.
I'm
All right.
always trying to find my way to put myself in the show,
Got it.
always.
Got it.
And
Okay.
and Wiggles like, man, you always coming up with something because I gotta stay connected to it or I will go crazy.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, listen. Obviously, you did the right thing because you bounced. You bounced back.
Yeah.
No problem. So, when did the transition happen? And we're still talking about Usher. When did the transition happen? That you've gone from being just his coach for being a b boy to, I mean, his trainer.
So
Because
so I went there just to train him. He flew me to Atlanta to train him how to break. Okay.
right.
Then by me training him breaking, when it was over, I had nothing else to do. So Todd Sam was making up the choreography.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn this choreography with you.
Right.
I'm bored. I'm not gonna go back home and just sit because I'm not built to do my job and go back to the hotel.
Right. Got it.
I I
You
have
got to
to
be
keep
moving.
I
You
have
gotta
to
be.
keep
Yeah.
moving.
Hmm.
So I'm learning the choreography with Todd. So then Usher will come in there and say, okay, Todd, let me see the choreography. And then he said, come on, Flo. And I get up and I will start doing the choreography. Usher and Todd left the room. They came back in. Usher said, let me ask you a question. I was like, what? He said, would you want to go on tour with me and be one of my dancers? I said,
Wow.
hell to the
Right.
yes.
Right. Right.
And ever since, from that,
And this your first tour?
this was my first tour. My first tour was with Usher. No, yes. My first tour was with Usher. Yes, my first
Where,
tour by me not setting my ass down, saying I'm going to take this opportunity to learn this choreography just for fun.
right.
It got me to dance with one of the best artists of that time.
Absolutely. Now, what is that like? You've up to this point, you have found a way to get into the rocksteady crew. Okay, like let me just go back. Let me just go back for a second. You found a way to get into a super legendary crew. Okay,
Hmm.
by way of perseverance. You've now connected with one of the biggest superstars in the world. Okay, and now you're training. You're not only training him, but you're touring with him now as well. What's your mind like right now? Are you on cloud nine? Are you hype all of the time? Who is Flo on the tour bus? Who is Flo in the cast of the tour?
I still got to keep proving myself. I got to still stay humble and keep moving forward. Even though I made it, doesn't mean that I made it.
Mm-hmm.
I always, the thing that I love about me, and I'm gonna keep going back to martial arts, is just because you made it, you never put in your mind that you make
That
it,
you made it. Yeah.
because that's when you get comfortable,
Right.
and when you get comfortable, it's when you fall.
Exactly.
You never get comfortable. I always tell people it's easy to make it to the top. It's hard to stay there
Just stay there.
because
Right.
people stop doing what they did to get to the top.
Mm.
When you get to the top, you got to do what you did to get to the top, and then more.
Mm-hmm. If not even more.
Even more,
Right.
yes, you have to. That's the only way you stay on top. That's the only way you stay learning and stay humble. So every time, every show that I did with Usher, even if I killed it and people lose it, I come back and be like, okay, that was good. What can I do better?
Right.
Okay, I can do this better next time. And
Mm-hmm.
I was never satisfied. Never satisfied.
Now, what was the the actual b boy battle ratio during this time when you're on tour? I know when you're on tour, you go places, and there's
Mhm.
sometimes you have days off in certain cities
I
and
will
things like
always go
that.
battle.
So
That's
so
Man,
you
listen,
sought out the dance
that's one
community and
thing
just
Usher will tell you if you ever interview Usher. Usher was saying Flo is the one that will have days off and go and fly to go battle and fly back and do a show. Balance stayed in me. It never left. I remember when we was in San Francisco, they had a guy had a shirt saying, Usher, I want to battle you. And I saw the shirt when I was out there doing the choreography. I was like, oh, he is losing his goddamn mind. So then when we went back in the back, I said, Usher, did you see that guy had that shirt? He said he want to battle you. What you gonna do? Usher said, I got you, Flo. I said, cool. So Usher came and said, stop. He said, I see this shirt. This guy right here, come on out. He brings the guy on stage, thousands of
Oh
people. He
no.
said, listen, I'm not feeling good, but I got somebody want to battle you. I dove out. I was like, let's get it. We just started battling
Oh
in the middle. He
my
stopped the whole show
goodness.
because I was in the back like, no, he didn't. It's going down. Oh, that
That's
was, man,
awesome.
them are the best moments, man. I love that.
That's
I
incredible.
loved it.
That
But
is
I
incredible.
told Usher his ass should have did it because he didn't have Flowmaster. He had Usher Raymond.
I know.
Later on down the line, I said, your ass should have done that.
Yeah, I know. But that was the last time that dude wore that shirt, though, for sure. Not good memories from that shirt. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Flo, so this is the My Way tour,
Yep.
correct? This is the My Way tour.
This is 80 this is
So 8701?
no, yeah, 8701.
8701
Yeah,
tour.
8701
Okay.
tour. Yeah.
The 8701 tour. Okay.
Mhm.
So now a little time has passed,
Mhm.
and I feel like, especially working with Usher, you've done a couple tours, you've done a couple music videos, things
Mhm.
like that. You're now an industry professional, right?
Mhm.
So what was that? What was that transition, and also what were the next steps? Because the 8701 tour ends. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
what is the next steps for Flo?
The next step for when 8701 was over, just going back to auditions again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went on tour with Jessica Simpson to,
Absolutely.
to open up for Ricky Martin. So I got off of one tour and went on another tour with just yeah. And then after I got off of that, then I went on back with Usher's Truth Tour.
Now, during this during this, how many other b boys are taking notice that, wow, if we just add some gusto in performance,
Mhm.
and b, learning how to pick up choreography under our belts, we can also kind of transition into a career like Flo is doing. Are there any b boys taking note of that?
I'm so glad you asked that.
Yeah.
So when I was coming up, when I was dancing for Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Jennifer Lopez, when I was dancing with people, when we used to go to these hip hop jams, they used to have panels.
Mm-hmm.
And panels, when they used to talk about hip hop
Whoa,
culture, you remember them
really?
panels? I
Okay.
know you ever.
Yes. Yes.
They stopped it. I don't know why they stopped it, but they should have brought it back. And every panel they had Wise Flow selling out. Oh my
No.
God, Wise Flow selling out. Because I wasn't dancing to hip hop music. I was dancing to pop.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there. Everything on the internet, everything was about Wise Flow selling out. And I'm sitting there like, how am I selling out when I would go do these pop stars and I would come in there and roast half of them people that was talking shit
Right.
ass in a
Right.
battle and then go back and go right back on my Britney Spears
Absolutely.
or Jessica Simpson tour.
Right.
So
Right.
how's that selling out? The problem is they got so caught up into if you're not hip hop, you just you're not a hip hop
Yes.
dancer. But it's so many hip hop dancers from back in the day did stuff that had nothing to do with hip
Exactly.
hop. They
Exactly.
was just so they was just so confused. But now a lot of the b boys who talk smack, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna say no names, they start doing the same thing I'm doing.
I see. But they did so silently,
They did it
right?
so
They did so
silently.
silently.
But I got the backlash because no b boys was doing choreography. B boys hated choreography. I had to make b boys come in and I had to teach them choreography, or I was like, don't leave this audition. Stay here. You're
Right.
gonna get better. I'm telling you, you
Right.
need to learn to do choreography. You just can't just breaking in a circle. It's not gonna bring you money.
Right. Right.
You trying to make a living, you have to be able to get them eights.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
better know how to pick them
That's the
eights. That's
longevity.
the
That's the
longevity. As a
longevity of it.
professional dancer, you better know how to pick them eights.
Absolutely. Now here's a question for you. So there are those that are saying that, he sold out and stuff like that, but I also know that there are those that are looking up to you
Hmm.
and ready and willing to pick up that knowledge and say, hey, you know what? What do I have to do? Can you just give me some game? Can you talk about some of the people that you have mentored, and even if you don't want to mention them specifically by name, the process of mentoring and passing on the knowledge that you required, and
Hmm.
then especially with the path that you got on, I'd imagine you just have so much knowledge, and you did put people on and brought people into the game. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
It makes me feel good because Showtime choreographed Glenn Stefani, right?
Yeah.
And you remember all the
Shout
B
out
boys,
Showtime. Yeah.
yeah, Stilo, Flea
Flea.
Rock, and
Yeah.
all them
Legacy.
like all them had a hard time doing eights, and Showtime always said, and he told me later, he said, if Flo can do it, y'all can do it,
Mm.
and that put a fire underneath them. Like, you know what? You're right.
Right.
If Flo can do it, we can do it. And look
Right.
at them. They became, did you see
Absolutely.
them doing choreography?
100%. Yes.
I was amazed.
Yes.
Stilo hated choreography. And to see him out there do a whole hour and a
Mm-hmm.
half show of doing choreography that has nothing to do with B-boying,
Exactly.
I was like,
Right. Right.
I was so happy just to see artists putting B-boys in their show
Mm-hmm.
because Usher started bringing a B-boy in the
Exactly.
show. It just makes me, now, I never thought that I would say stuff like this because I like to stay humble, but sometimes I need to let people know that yes, a lot of B-boys wasn't doing this. I am happy that I opened the doors to make B-boys think more than just the circles.
I see. I see. And you are a pioneer at that. What other B boys were among some of the first with you? Do you if you remember?
B-boys, to be honest, man, I can't really because a lot of B-boys really was scared to do eight
Right.
counts, man. I didn't. I was all by myself for a while.
All right.
I was.
And the reason I asked that question is because that's pretty much all I knew. And at this point in time, I'm I'm in my last couple of years in Alabama, right? I remember watching the 8701. I remember watching the My Way tour.
Yeah.
I remember watching My Way.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the last little bit, and you were pretty much the only one, the only B-boy that I saw behind artists, not until I came out here much later.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, that was where you and I believe his name is Isaiah.
Isaiah, yeah.
Yeah, B-boy Isaiah
Mm-hmm.
were both dancing for JC Chasez.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And that was the second B-boy that I saw. Oh, look at him doing choreography.
See?
And by that time I was out here. So I was at the auditions where I saw a lot of B-boys fall by the wayside because they were like, yo, I'm not even gonna try. And no.
You gotta get out of your comfort zone. I
Right.
tell B-boys, if there's anything I can tell B-boys, and I tell them over and over, I tell them on Instagram, on Facebook, I tell them when I see them, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You can't grow by being comfortable. Comfortable don't make you grow. Comfortable makes you die.
Mm.
You can't grow as a human being by being in your comfort zone. You gotta get out of your comfort zone. That's the only way you're gonna make it in life, in anything.
And you still strive to push yourself outside of your comfort zone.
24/7, just like I was telling somebody earlier, talking was the most scariest thing for me to do. To do what we're doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
it was scared.
Really?
Yeah, and exactly. You're sitting there like, I can't tell.
You? I'm like, you?
Exactly. Listen, the old Flo, if we'd have done this a long time ago, I'd have been like, yeah, legs almighty,
Got it. Legs on my.
eating Fruit Loops. That's how I got the name. You'd be like, okay, Flo, and we're done.
This interview will be up on Instagram. Thank you very much.
But I got out of my comfort zone and made it. I put myself in places where I had to talk.
Mm.
I had to, because I know eventually somebody's going to put me there. Like jiu-jitsu, we have a saying in jiu-jitsu, if you don't get used to doing this position, somebody's going to put you in this position. And when you get put in this position, you're going to be freaking out. So get put in that position so you don't freak out. So I put myself in this. When you become up here and start making your name and people want to know you and you become a ghetto superstar,
Right.
you're going to have to do this.
Right. Right.
This is something that you can't run away from. And I've seen so many dancers get on the mic and I'll be like, what the hell did he just say?
Right.
Incredible dancer.
Incredible dancer.
But can't.
Right. Exactly.
And this is what you have to get your point across is having people learning your experience. How can you talk and get your experience out to people to let people know how you got to where you at? And that comes from talking.
Absolutely. Very nice. Is there anybody that helped you out with that specific? Any
Yes.
person that helped you out with that specifically?
My wife went to Tony Robbins. Have you heard of Tony Robbins?
Of course, I've heard of
Tony Robbins. She worked for him for a whole year. So I had to go to seminars after seminars. Man, it was the best thing that ever happened.
I mean,
for a whole year.
Great blessing in disguise, right? It was like, yo, I had to go to these Tony Robbins seminars.
Yep, because I had to help my wife because my wife was putting them together. So I had to help her. And I learned so much. And talking was one of them.
Mm.
Talking is the most powerful thing when it makes sense. You can get your point across. Like I want to be an emotional speaker
I
really
see.
bad.
I
But
see.
sometimes I get so excited because I'm energy, I
Right.
stutter sometimes, and I'm like, okay, you can't be stuttering, Flo. You can't be motivating people like that. You can't be doing that,
Right.
man. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Well,
So
so what's something that you took away from those some aside from, of course, being comfortable in speaking, but what was something that maybe caused a paradigm shift that you hadn't thought about before attending these seminars? Is there something that you took away specifically from Tony that just changed the game for you?
health,
Health.
health,
Okay.
about live food,
Which
eating
you are
good foods,
huge into.
and but
Huge.
that started with Tony Robbins.
Ah.
Tony opened. I didn't know nothing about health. I didn't, man, listen, I was fried chicken, McDonald's, supersized, big two Cokes,
Right. Right. Right.
Fritos,
Right.
no water, no vegetables, none of that. That was the guy I was raised until I went to Tony's live food thing. And he just talked about if you want to be live, you eat live food. You want to be dead, eat dead food. And he explains the thing about live foods and he explains about dead food. And I'm sitting there like, God damn, where was you at when I was in my 20s? Why did it take you when I was in my 30s to say this now, man?
Right.
And right when he did that, that's what set my journey. Because when I tore my ACL, I was like, how do I heal fast?
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from the food. The reason why people don't heal fast because they don't put the right foods in their body to heal. Your
Right.
body deals with food to heal your body. If
Right.
you hurt something, whatever you put in your mouth is going to dictate how fast you heal.
Right.
And Tony explains all that. And I was like, now that's what I want to
Got
do.
it.
I want to be strong. Remember, I had 11 knee surgeries.
Yeah. Wait,
11.
say that one more time,
I
please.
had 11 knee surgeries.
And he can still roast all of y'all. Legs almighty.
You still.
Legs almighty.
And if it wasn't for the food, I wouldn't be dancing right now. Pop and Pete said, how are you walking? How are you walking?
Right.
It's because of the food. You keep the inflammation down, you're good.
Wow. Flo, can I ask you, how long you are a vegan,
I'm a
correct?
vegan now. Been a year now. I've been
Been
a
a year.
vegetarian for
There
years.
we go.
But
Okay.
then I was like the vegan now because cheese and dairy puts inflammation in
Right.
your knees.
Right.
So I was like, I want to dance. I would do dancing saved me. It brought me
Mm-hmm.
my wife. It brought me my kids. It brought
Mm-hmm.
me dancing with incredible people. It
Right.
made me meet incredible people. I'm like, dancing does so much for my life. I don't want to give up on it. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, what do I got to do to keep dancing?
I see.
So I was like, I got to become a vegan.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And it's one of the best thing. Now, I'm not telling people you have to become a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find your own journey for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I choose for myself to stay on the dance floor.
I see. Now, something that you just kind of mentioned that I would love to get into is your family, Flo.
Yeah.
Your family,
Yeah.
which I am also a family man too. And once you have that family, things get switched around, and your family is the most important thing. It is the reason you do everything that you do. And so, please, can you talk about um, pre-family Flow?
Pre-family.
Uh huh. As to post family flow, and the reason I'm asking is, um, I even I have noticed in the times that I've seen you, and when I first met you, you had just had your daughter,
Yeah,
actually.
Kira.
Okay, you had
Mhm.
just had your daughter, and over all of these years, not just in dance experience, work experience, but also being a father and a husband, a working father and a husband. How is post family flow
Mhm.
different than pre family?
Pre-family flow was selfish.
Selfish.
Well, I was
Selfish in what ways?
because you gotta remember having a kid when you're used to just doing stuff, you can get up and go wherever you want. You
Right.
can go on this tour and you be like, babe, I'll be back in these many months.
Right.
But when you have a baby, you can't say that. You can't just get up and leave no
Right.
more.
Right.
You know, my wife is the bread
Right.
winner. She makes all the money.
Right.
So we got to see whoever makes the most money is the one that works, and whoever doesn't have to stay home.
Stay with the kids.
So I
Right.
had to give up a whole year of taking care of my daughter until we find a nanny because we wasn't gonna get any nanny,
Right.
to
Of
take care of
course.
my
Of
kids because we
course.
got some crazy people out here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I had to give up a whole year, and let me tell you, that was the hardest thing I ever had to do because
Mm.
number one, I never had. Not saying I didn't have a good childhood,
Mm.
but I never had a way to know how to take care of a baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay.
So
Yes.
trying to learn how to change a baby, knowing they got to eat every 30 minutes, and if that bottle's not ready, they
They
lose it.
lose it.
My daughter went off. I mean, I'm down sweating trying to get the bottle warm, and it mess up, and I got to do it all over, and she's screaming. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm just sweating, and my wife is at work, and then she comes on, she goes to sleep, and I'm up there bouncing the baby, and I'm
Right. Right.
like, it was like, oh my God.
That's sidewalk.
I need to go back on the road. I'm gonna kill somebody. But it was the best thing that happened to me because it taught me patience.
Mm,
It taught me what true love really is, man, for another
mm.
human being.
Absolutely.
Man, you gotta
Yes.
take care of another. I mean, she can't fend for herself.
Exactly.
She can't wipe her own butt. She can't feed herself.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know how to crawl. She don't know how to walk. I had to teach her all that, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to do it. I had to try and error.
Right. Now, what's the and this is going to be a really dope question. Is how is the process of uh, fathering children without a fatherhood example? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So I'm glad you said that because I do everything that I wanted when I was little from my father,
Yeah.
and I made sure I do it to my kids. If I say that I'm gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna be there.
Mm.
If I say that we're gonna go to the go to the gas station because you did good, we're gonna do the gas station.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
I say I'm gonna be at your play and somebody call me and say I got a job, I gotta cancel that job and be at that play
Right.
because that builds them up. I don't
Absolutely.
want to ever let them feel what I felt as
Right.
a kid coming up.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, of course it
Ever.
does. And then, so what are some of the virtues and attributes that are important for you to pass on to your kids?
Well, health.
Of course.
I have to. I see parents always tell their kids to eat healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Do this. You better not eat that. You better not drink that soda. You better not eat that burger. And yet the
They drink
parent
it.
go
Yeah,
drink
they
it and
drink
do
it.
it. Kids don't learn from this. Kids
Mm-hmm.
learn from this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they make me a better person. They keep me accountable of what I do.
Right.
What I say on Instagram and when I post stuff and I go out there and do something totally different, my son and my daughter be like, "Oh, Daddy, we saw you do that. Don't even lie. We saw you eat that. We saw you eat them Snickers. You told people don't eat Snickers. They bad for you. But Daddy, you just down the whole thing. Matter of fact, you did 2 Snickers, Daddy."
Right.
Like
Right.
they would just blow your bubble. And then every credibility that you tell them, you lose it. Because they see
Got it.
you not doing it.
Exactly.
So that keeps me accountable. So like everything I say, I gotta make sure I stick to it so they can
I
understand
love this.
the way I treat women, the way I treat her mom and treat
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Mm-hmm.
They see that. So when they get in that situation, they be like, "Well, this is how Daddy handles it.
I
So
love
let
that.
me do this."
I love that.
It's a big responsibility being a
One
parent,
hundred
man.
percent. You can and it turns everything around where you also kind of have to relearn everything as well, while also looking at yourself and the lessons that you're about to pass on and making sure that they actually make sense, or are you on autopilot?
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Now, do you share the same sentiment with your metaphorical children of the dance world? Does
Yes, I
that
do.
make sense?
Totally. Everything you see me post about stretching and going to sleep, I make sure everybody sees that. When
Mm,
I go to a B-boy jam, I don't run right in a circle. I take my ass, I do some jumping jacks, and I stretch before I even go out there. Because I
mm-hmm.
believe in to not get injured, you gotta stretch. You
Of
have to warm
course.
up your body and then stretch your muscles and then go there and dance. When you finish, get off and stretch.
Absolutely.
People learn by what they see, not by everybody can say this. Everybody can do this. Everybody
Right.
does that.
Right.
You know, you got a lot of trainers now that you see in the gym trying to teach you how to get a six pack and their belly's bigger than yours.
Right. You're right. You're
How am
right.
I gonna get a six pack and your belly big?
Right. Exactly.
I'm not. You're not the one I'm gonna follow.
I
I'm
see.
I'm gonna follow somebody blah blah blah, and I'm seeing them eating right and drinking water and doing stuff.
All right.
So that's what even when my children in the dance world, I do what I preach.
Now go ahead and expand on you teaching right now, because you know all while also being able to teach dance and choreograph, you also have incredible fitness classes, regiments. The dude has a lab in his garage. Okay, like, do y'all remember back in the day when like people was like Michael Jackson has a hyperbaric chamber? Flowmaster has like a legit hyperbaric chamber in his house. No doubt. Like he has the craziest garage I've ever seen in my life. It's insane. So can you speak on yourself as a teacher now, both in fitness and dance.
Mhm.
You know, the things that you find, the lessons that you find important to pass on as a teacher. And you know, is it in your fitness classes? Is it making sure that that your students are feeling comfortable and feeling that you're with them the entire time, that you're
Mhm.
giving them the emotional support? You know, how connected um, to your students and the people that you're teaching?
When I teach class, I got to be 100% connected
Mm,
because that's the only way you're going to keep them motivated.
mm,
You got to make them have fun.
mm-hmm,
Everybody learns from having fun.
mm-hmm.
I haven't met one person who learns by being upset.
Right,
And if he is, I tell him you need to leave my class.
right,
This
right.
is not a class
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I always like to be engaged when I teach.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I always like to make people laugh because when you get people laugh, they give you the 100%.
I agree.
When you uplift them, they give you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dead face, where I see a lot of trainers dead face and they try to tell you, give me
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
That that makes you go down and you can't give them no more because you're not uplifting them.
Right,
So
right.
I make sure my class is very uplifting. And I make sure that we work on the small muscles. I don't go try to kill people and tell people you got to do these jump squats if you can't even do squats.
Right.
Why would you do jump squats if you can't even do
Can't do
squats?
a proper
If
squat.
you can't do a proper squat,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you get injured. Why
Mm-hmm.
would I make you do a push up and then go up on a box if you can't even do a push
A
up?
real push up.
That's
Right.
how you get in. So my thing is now is by me having so many injuries,
Mm-hmm.
it's thinking how do I strengthen people up without getting hurt? Because
Mm.
being on that operating table, it's not fun.
I know. I know.
And I want
I'm
to.
I'm 4 surgeries in.
You
I'm
had four.
4 in. Yeah. Right ACL and then 3
See,
on my left.
see,
But on the same tokens, I just won't sit down. Like
see, see.
the music is just too good.
Hey,
The music is just too good, and while I can't move my lower half, I can definitely move my
move the upper
I can
half,
move the
yeah.
upper half. You know.
So my whole thing is just to teach people how to take care of themselves properly from all the mistakes that
Mm-hmm.
I have went through, and
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, you go to all these other people, these doctors and these physical therapies,
Mm-hmm.
and they telling you textbook,
Mm-hmm.
but they never been through it. How can you tell me something if you never been through it?
Right.
How can you tell me about a relationship, how to get good with my wife if you never been married?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
best
Yes.
teachers to me is the one that been through
Been
it
through it.
and came out of it.
Absolutely.
So my thing is now is just to express and teach people how to take care of themselves and what to do so they don't get injured.
I love it. Now, with that, I mean, this is kind of a good segue. It's going to take a little bit of a turn in back into the dance space. What I want to talk about is with all of that knowledge now, okay, and you actually being able to look at it from a place that's a little further removed from the dance community that you were in before.
Mhm.
What's different about the game now as opposed to when you were like when you were touring with Usher, when you were in the thick of it, when you
Mhm.
were in the thick of it? What are some of the noticeable difference that you see now as opposed to then?
Well, we didn't have Instagram and Facebook
Boom,
and the
boom.
internet that we
Yes,
have now, you know.
yes, yes.
These kids are incredible. Like I see these kids doing amazing stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
choreography. Like I post this Asian girl on my Instagram the other day. I mean, this girl lived this music. Like I never
Mm-hmm.
seen this 9-year-old or however old she was. She
Mm-hmm.
made it come alive. But the problem that I see with kids now is they don't have their own identity
And why is that? Why do you think that
because
is?
everybody's trying to look like everybody else. Like they want to look like the teacher. They want to do it just like the teacher, which I think is cool.
Right.
But at the same time, whatever happened to you just going out there being you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that I was watching. I can't remember the name, but they won America's Best Dance Group,
Mm-hmm.
and they won it.
Okay.
And then I saw them at a club dancing, and they couldn't dance. And I'm sitting there like,
Yep.
okay, what
Yep.
the hell going on?
Yep. Yep.
You
I
see what I'm
see.
saying?
I see.
You can only dance when you have somebody put a choreography to you.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it's time to dance and you be your own self, you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference in our generation is we knew how to dance even if we didn't do eights.
I
Heavy
see.
D and the boys, they got
Right.
behind Heavy D and they did choreography, but you put them in a circle and they still
Absolutely.
out there grooving. Nowadays, these kids just want to do a job and just get work and stuff, and they don't work on their own identity to be you. I want to, when I see you, I don't want to see Flowmaster. I want
Mm-hmm.
to see whatever your name is in that circle. I want to see your own thing. When Usher, when you look at Binky, Leslie, Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
Moody, Fly, me, when you see us up there dance with Usher, we all do the choreography, but we do it in our own way.
Yeah, right, right. Exactly.
We had our own flavor. We had our own superhero powers,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
we all just had our own thing, and that's what was so incredible about us. And
mm,
that's what these kids are missing because they have these Instagram and this YouTube. They don't have time to go and just be themselves. They
right.
stand in front of a computer and be like,
Right, right. Got it. Yes.
instead of
Yeah.
just making that go away and just doing it to the music and feeling the music.
Right.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
So then, so if the climate is like that right now, if because I think it's really easy to talk about how the world should be as opposed to how it is,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, w- what do you think? What do you think could be done to promote the strength of individualism?
They need to bring back social dance like they used to when I came up.
Uh,
Now, I guess a lot of clubs, a lot of people don't, when dancers go to clubs now, they shut them down after a week because dancers don't buy drinks,
right,
and if the bar don't make money, they shut it down,
right,
and then there's no place for dancers to go. You name one place where dancers can go. The carnival, not no, the carnival is still all that.
right.
It ain't like they used to be when the carnival when all of us used to go and we used to
Yeah,
all
exactly.
party.
Right,
It
right.
is all gone. We need to find a place. Like if you look at Japan and France, they got places where you can go and just dance all night. So when you see the Japanese dance and the France dance,
Yeah,
man,
they just got it.
my
The
goodness,
it's all of the skill
all the skill and
with the
with their
love
own
of dance as
yes.
well. Right.
For here, it just became a business. People
Mm,
don't even smile no
I
more. Like
got
I
it.
go to Showtime's Groove class,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling Show the other day is I'm sitting in Showtime's Groove class, just grooving and having fun, and everybody,
Just worried
and
about
I'm like, hey man, come
yes,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
What the hell?
yeah.
Why
Why
you,
are you
what?
talking to me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, what the hell? Wait a minute.
right,
You
right.
supposed to be like, okay, man, let's come on,
Yeah,
let's get it
exactly,
here.
exactly,
Hey,
exactly.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
That brings your own identity out when
I
you're just
see.
having fun, and it's just now it's just gone. So we just need to find parties instead of doing battles. We need to do parties. We need to bring slow dancing back.
I see.
We need to.
Okay.
I mean,
It's time to dance socially
it's
again,
time to talk to
basically. It's
socially.
like it's time to also match the training and foundation and technique, but also having just getting together
Social.
and having a good time.
And I'm not down in the stuff that everybody's doing. I think it's incredible because I'm seeing kids blow kids out back from
Absolutely.
back in the day. Now,
100%.
do not
Yes.
get me wrong. Now, don't think Flo just don't like the new generation. That's no. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying, just have your own identity.
Yes.
Start being you. You want people to say, that's Melissa right there. I
Right.
know Melissa. You want somebody to put you behind a screen and you dance and everybody knows who you are.
Absolutely. I love
You
that.
put
I love
dancers
it.
in front of the screen now, you be like, I
It'd
don't
be
know
like
who that,
8 of the same
who.
person easily. Absolutely.
I think that's
I think
Keisha.
that's
Is
yeah,
that
and if
Keisha?
it's not, then they definitely learned that from Absolutely, man. That's great. That's great. Now, Flo, this is really exciting because I actually haven't done this with another guest. This segment, what I
Oh,
wanted to do was because this is, I as I said, I am such a fan of yours,
would you
and
stop
for I'm
that?
saying no, I won't.
I'm the-
I'm just saying I'm just such a fan. And it's great to not only share a circle with you, but to actually sit down and talk with you. And I thought this would be an amazing time to ask somebody that knows you deeper than surface level, that has trained with you for a while, any deeper penetrating questions that they might have for you. Here's a couple that I think this is gonna be
Miss
great.
Nasty herself.
What was your favorite battle you were in through the years? How do you feel about all of your rivals through the years?
My favorite battle of all times have to be against K Mail.
K Mel. Oh, shout out K Mel, Boogie Brats.
Me and K Mail went at it. Listen, K Mail helped me learn how to do all them flips.
Mm,
Not saying he taught me, but he made me create all them crazy
right,
flips I did to
right.
counter his flips.
Mm,
So he made me a better b-boy as well as I made him a better b-boy.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
The
yes.
problem is, b-boys don't give each other knowledge about that. They have egos where they don't give each other prop. K-Mel made me a better flipper. He made me come up with some incredible flips
Absolutely, because the
to
guy is
beat his flips.
ridiculous.
Because I was
Right,
like, okay, I can't just beat him with just footwork alone. I
right,
got to come up with some crazy stuff.
right.
To deal with it, some crazy, not too crazy, but just a couple crazy. It's like, listen, I can do that too,
Hmm.
but I'm going to go back to what I'm known for.
Now, what was your first experience with K Mel? Had you heard about him? Had you seen him before you heard about
I
him?
seen K-Mel before. K-Mel in New York City. We was up in Boogie Down Bronx, and he was just a street performer doing flips.
Uh huh.
And we was just in the circle, and he had no footwork and no top rock. He was just a flip dude.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I was like, okay, cool. So we kind of got into it, but we was, you could feel
Nice little back
the
and forth.
tension, yeah.
Uh huh.
And then later on down the line, I just heard he just got with the Boogie Brats, or he created the Boogie Brats. I don't know how it went down, and he just started learning all these incredible footwork with his
Hmm.
flips.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know how it got started. We just started just being rivals. We
Hmm.
just started because I guess I was the one in Rocksteady who liked the battle,
Hmm.
and he likes the battle.
Right.
And I was
Exactly.
looking for battles, and he was looking for battles. So eventually, we
Hmm.
going to cross path.
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
what we did. We crossed path a lot.
I love that. And also, guys, for those listening slash watching, this is the time to use that incredible tool called the internet, YouTube. I feel like I say this probably every episode about something, but if you have not seen a Flowmaster or K Mel, get on YouTube
Please.
after you watch this and just enjoy what you're about to see because it's incredible.
We battled so many times. People's like, listen, man, we don't see y'all no battle no more. That's it. We done. We done. We all just, you know what? Y'all just set y'all asses down. Go. Y'all won. You won. Leave it alone. Like, seriously, people said, that's it. We
Right.
don't want to see it no more.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because
Goes
we
on too
battled
long.
every
Yeah.
time. Yeah, we battled so much.
I love it. I love it. Okay, next question. What would you say to dancers that have had surgeries and are feeling discouraged?
For rule number one, please sit down. Set your ass
As hard as
down.
it is.
I know. Please sit down. I wish I would have sat down on my first surgery because I messed up. No, I wish I'd have sat down when I tore my ACL because I messed up my other knee and had to, after the ACL got healed, I had to have surgery on another one because I messed up because I didn't sit down.
Mm.
Okay? Always think positive thoughts. Always be around people that uplift you.
Mhm.
Don't be around negative people.
Mm.
Negative people will make you worse. You have to be around good, positive people. That's why you got to have good friends. When I tore my ACL, I didn't have too many friends. Only about 3 people that came that really helped me,
Right.
and it kind of helped me. Like the ACL was the hardest one for me
Right.
because I didn't have nobody at the time.
So you just have
And
to surround
my
yourself
wife
by
said it, but she wasn't my wife at the time, but she said to have good friends, you must be a good friend.
Mm.
And I wasn't a good friend like I thought I was, because
Right.
after I got hurt, my phone stopped ringing.
Mm.
Nobody was around.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was gone. The
Right.
only one that really came around my needs was Ernie Ray Jr.
Mm-hmm.
from Sidekicks. Remember Ernie Ray Jr.? Super Dave.
Shout out Super Dave.
Super Dave was
Yeah.
incredible. And who was else? Somebody else came around. Probably not as much as Super Dave and Ernie Ray Jr.
Wow.
But they was always by me. They always checked
Wow.
up on me, man.
So to surround yourself with the good, not
Surround
only in the
yourself
mind, but just all
with the
around.
good, and make sure you go see the right doctor too. Because when I tore my
Yes.
ACL, I went to the chiropractor,
Man.
and I know I should have went to the orthopedic.
Man.
I didn't know what the orthopedic was. I
Man.
thought orthopedic helped to fix your foot.
But
The fungus on your foot. So
right doctor
I got
is
took it
essential.
really bad.
Man.
Oh, I got bad.
Man.
Oh man, I got took it, man, really bad.
All right. Man. Okay. Last question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This one's gonna be a great one. I think this
Uh-oh.
is great. How has it been training Kai, who is Flo's son, these past few years, and what are your hopes for him? And you know what? Let me not just limit that to Kai. Actually,
Okay.
now, let me say it to your
Yeah.
children,
Okay.
like because both of them dance.
Yeah.
I mean, how could they not?
Right.
But and then you train them both.
Fighting.
Yeah, please,
Self-defense.
please.
Well, let's start. Let's talk about dancing. Dancing first. I started Kai when he was 3.
Mm-hmm.
I just put on music and I just danced with him. So Kai was raised up with the funk.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, not so much, because she likes ballet. So she didn't really take to my style of
Right,
dance. She
right,
didn't want to hear the Commodores, the Whispers, and
right, right,
Smokey Robinson and
right, right,
Stevie Wonder.
right,
She was like, Daddy, what is that? That's old folks music. I
right.
don't want to hear that. I want to hear Let It Whip and Let
Let
It
it
Nay
nay
Nay. I
nay.
was like, okay, you gonna do that. I'm gonna go and stay
Right,
in my
right.
phone. So, I kind of let my daughter because I didn't want to push her because she was already stuck in her way. So I was
Mhm,
like, you know what? When it's time, I'm gonna let her come
mhm,
because I started her too late. But Kai, I was like, because I always wanted a boy.
mhm.
I always visit when I had a boy that he was gonna be my training partner
Right,
and my dancing partner. I
right,
always visualized that we was gonna battle together. I said, if I ever have a boy, we're gonna battle. This is what I'm visioning before my son
right,
even came.
right.
So when my son was coming, I was showing everybody his balls and his ding ding on all the ground. I'm like, my son is coming, my partner's coming. He's here. He's gonna be here. And man, poor Kai, boy, he got it.
He didn't
man,
know what he was
man, he
stepping
had
into. He
no
had no
idea what he
idea.
was about to step into.
Welcome to the world, son.
So when he turned 8, man, that's when it stuff just started clicking. He
Yeah,
started
man.
understanding the music, started understanding the
Yes.
lock. Like I was like, we went to battles and he's shutting people who've been dancing for years
Mm-hmm.
down. And it goes back to what I was saying, having your own personality, and that's what Kai has.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I try not to. One thing that I don't do when I teach locking and breaking, I don't teach people how to be flow master.
Mm-hmm.
I teach people how to express their self
Absolutely.
in the locking,
Mm-hmm.
dancing, and I just teach Kai how to express. I said, listen, this is the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Now run with it. The only
Right.
time I stop my son is when the foundation is leaving him
Right.
and he's going somewhere else with it.
Right.
The only time he can do whatever he wants is when he's freestyling.
Got
But
it.
when you gonna lock, you better lock.
Right.
When you gonna break, you better
Better
do
break.
the top rock and the footwork.
Got it.
When you pop, you better pop.
Right.
When you house, you better do that bounce.
Right. Right.
So it's as long as you do that, he incredible.
Now, will you be okay with them if they wanted to get into the dance industry?
They do.
They do.
They do. But I tell them, make sure your education, because my education is not that good.
Mm.
Not saying far as the school world, the
Mm-hmm.
government
Mm-hmm.
way of education.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that good, and I want to make sure that they be strong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if dancing doesn't work, because dance is not like it used to be when I came up.
Mm.
We used to make a living off of dancing.
Mm.
You can't really do that unless you do these shows. But even these shows don't guarantee it. I see dancers driving for Uber and getting a
Right.
second job. Dancing is hard to make it
Mm.
like that anymore.
Mm.
The economy and all that stuff has went down, so
Mhm.
you can't just make it by dancing alone.
Right.
You can't.
Well, I think too, but I mean, also speaking of that too, I mean, that's also a place where social media has actually helped dance so much
Yeah.
because I mean, it provides you with such a platform and so many people can see it immediately.
Mhm.
But again, just like anything, there are pros and cons
Pros and cons
to that approach
Mhm.
because a lot of if you rise very rapidly without putting any foundation
any work
around
or
you,
not
and
having
I'm
no
not talking
falling or something,
absolutely.
then yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's a little bit of both, and I
Mhm.
totally understand what's
Mhm.
happening. I love that. I
Yes.
love that.
So
Flo, and this is gonna be it's like so this is not necessarily the last question that I just asked you, but it kind of pertains to it because it is you passing knowledge on to the future generation. If there was one message, um, if there was one message that Flo could leave in the world, one, what would that message be?
shoot, I have a lot of them.
If you could choose one that you think that we as a people need the most right now, and this doesn't necessarily have to be in the dance world. I'm just talking about us as humans.
Love,
Love. And why love?
because love heals everything, man.
Mm.
If you love your enemy, you heal your enemy.
Mm. Say that one more time.
If you love your enemy, you heal your enemy. People, you can't do hate against hate. Because
Mhm.
what happens when you do hate and hate together? It makes more hate. But what happens when you do love against hate?
Mm.
Pretty soon the hate is gonna start saying, "Oh shoot."
Mm-hmm.
Even though you no, I love you. I love you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens. Love heals everything, man.
Mhm.
And I think that we as human, we got away from love.
Mm.
We think that everything everybody's against us or somebody got something against us, and really we just going through our own struggle. But if everybody can understand one another,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that what everybody's
Mm-hmm.
going through, having compassion with one another,
Mm-hmm.
the world will be better. But
Mm.
people don't understand what other people's going through. When I see people get a road rage and they give a middle finger,
Right.
they just probably just got fired from their job
Absolutely.
and they just
Exactly.
losing it, and we don't understand it.
Right.
So if we go like this and they go like this, all of a sudden somebody who's doing love is gonna get in the middle and he causes an accident.
Right.
Them two guys that do this lives, and the person who's doing love kills.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go like this and then another person's like, okay, God bless you.
Yeah, yeah.
Let him go on with his hate.
Right.
Because pretty soon, just don't,
Right. Right.
we just, we got to start love, man.
I love that, and that is honestly that's a message that we need more now than ever.
Ever.
Because things are crazy,
Crazy,
out there. Absolutely.
It is,
So
yeah.
put some love on it
Please, y'all.
and put some dance on it.
Michael Jackson said it best. With love. With love.
Flo, thank you so much for
No,
coming
thank
to
you,
the
man.
lab, brother, man. I appreciate you. Flo, by the way, where can we find you? Where can we find you?
Instagram, Flowmaster73 or Jerry Randolph on Facebook.
Boom.
I don't have a Twitter or nothing like that because I don't know how the hell to do that.
That's all right. Legs almighty.
Shut up.
Out.